Honourable Speaker, you did hint on the electoral process, the fact that people are out there fighting for their political lives. No wonder the House is the way it is. Thank you for that update on the biometric voter verification kits. I specifically raised that matter here, and my concern was twofold. Number one, that even as legislators, as stakeholders, participants in the electoral process, we are not too sure about the whole modus operandi of these kits. How do they get to operate? Who does what? What happens when they're non-functional, as has been the case in the last election, during the census, thereafter, network issues, operational issues, all these being very critical concerns. And it's important that they get addressed. It's good that the Electoral Commission is making time to come and interact with legislators as part of the stakeholders. But beyond that, I think there are questions which need to be answered. At the time we're having an engagement with the Attorney General, and some answers have not yet come through regarding the legalese. Are we saying these biometric voter verification kits are going to be used mandatorily? And what that means, as I've heard one of the presidential candidates say, where the kit does not work, voting shall not take place at that polling station. The concern about that is, so what happens in areas where there will be network issues, where there will be failures of these kits to operate, electricity and so on and so forth? We have had that challenge, so let's be alive to that reality. So when you say that where the kit does not work, voting does not happen, we're going to have a crisis. And that affects, by the way, both sides of the aisle. Even in your constituency, you'll find many of the places where you probably think you have majority support or whatever the case might be, so the machine fails. Voting doesn't happen. And then what? So I think it's important that government gives us clarity. Are we saying these biometric voter verification kits, yes, will be used? Where it fails, as was the case the other time, are we referring to the voters register? Or are we saying where it fails, voting does not happen? So that there is clarity, then we know what exactly are we dealing with. Away from that, Honourable Speaker, two other quick issues, again related to the goings on. Honourable Speaker, this House here is clothed with the responsibility of making laws. And it's important that when there is a violation of those laws, this House speaks particular interest. Honourable Speaker, on the 3rd of December, this very year, Reverend Father Deus Sekabira, a priest of Masaka Diocese, was abducted by armed men using an ordinary vehicle. For days, everybody was asking, where is this person? We kept asking police, saying, you are the people who are clothed with the responsibility of arresting. Where is this Reverend Father? Police issued a statement saying, we don't know about his arrest, we don't have him. That got more concerning. Days later, the UPDF released a statement, and I want to lay a copy of it here. It was written by one Chris Magezi, saying Reverend Father Deus Sekabira was arrested by security forces for involvement in subversive activities, and he is, according to Magezi, in lawful custody. The concern is twofold. Because you see, lawful custody presupposes, one, that somebody is held in a gazetted detention facility. A facility that can be accessed by lawyers, loved ones, doctors, where the need arises, to be able to access this person. As we speak today, right now, Speaker, it's 2 weeks since this man was abducted. The army has conceded finally that they have him. But holding him where? Why has he not been produced in court? Because the law, which was passed in this House, talks about 48 hours for which you can hold somebody in a gazetted facility. After 48 hours, you have two options. Release him or her, or produce him in court. Why has he not been produced in court? That's a big worry, right, Honorable Speaker. It's not enough to say we have him, and then you say lawful custody. How is it lawful when his loved ones, lawyers, they can't access him, they don't know where he is? Well, Honorable Speaker, we had a similar incident not long ago. 2 Kenyan citizens abducted in similar manner in this country. And it's good we have Kenyan legislators, Bob Njagi and Nicholas Ayo. And for days on end, everybody was wondering, where are these people? Where are these people? After a while, the head of state said, yes, we had those people. We had put them in a fridge, whatever that means. And now we have released them. The worry is we are going against the laws that we pass. If, and by the way, none of us is above the law. If it is suspected that I have committed an offense, regardless who I am, whether I'm a priest, whether I'm a political leader, the law says, produce me in court. Maybe government needs to advise us. Why are they choosing to break the law? Why hasn't this Catholic priest, whom they are saying was involved in subversive activities, why don't you produce him in court? Adduce the evidence. Let there be trial. It's very important that that gets to happen. Otherwise, then we have a huge challenge. Well, Mr. Speaker, celebrate Janani Luwum Day. It's now a public holiday. Janani Luwum was abducted by the Idi Amin regime. Disappeared for good. The last we checked, he was killed. And this government said, let's celebrate this man. The same thing is being seen to happen today. So we need answers, Honorable Speaker. Again, there's another citizen, one Sarah Nambogo, and her 13-year-old child, who were also abducted outside Kampala Club. A 13-year-old child. This is the minor. I heard from some corners that they were going to be released today. I don't know if that has happened. But the challenge is, this person was abducted on 12th December. It's been several days. Where are they being held? Why don't you arrest people properly if you think they've committed an offense, and then produce them in a court of law? Finally, Right Honorable Speaker, again, this is important for us here. So on 10th of December, the Uganda government signed a health cooperation agreement with the US government. And this is meant to be to the tune of about $2.2 billion US dollars. The US government is meant to shoulder the bulk of it, about $1.7 billion. It's to help numerous things, strengthen our health system, enhance disease surveillance, and so on and so forth. So it's supposed to be a good thing when you think about it. But here is the challenge. As Parliament, we don't know about this huge fiscal obligation on our country. There's been no parliamentary scrutiny. There are concerns about data protection, medical data, and so on. Our colleagues in Kenya went to court because there was a similar deal signed by the Kenyan government with the US government. So citizens went to court and they said, we are concerned about data protection. And court has halted that deal. Why is government not keeping us in the loop? If it is so good a deal as it is being portrayed to be, why? Why do you not want parliamentary scrutiny? We get to know what kind of agreement is this? What is therein? So that we are brought up to speed. Not long ago, I was here again, Right Honorable Speaker, and raising concerns about some arrangement that had been cracked between the Uganda government and the US government, that they were going to bring some convicts, not deporting them to their countries of origin, but bringing them to Uganda. I said, tell us about that. How did this get to happen? Why can't they be taken to their countries of origin? So, Honorable Speaker, it's important that there is transparency. If a deal is as good as this one is being portrayed to be, bring it here. We operate here on behalf of the people whom you're saying this deal is going to help. Let's scrutinize it. Let there be parliamentary scrutiny. Let us all know everything around it. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, you have reported on Electoral Commission coming here on 18th December.
Attorney General.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, you have reported on Electoral Commission coming here on 18th December 2025 at 10 a.m. I don't think I need to belabor that point. All the questions that LOP has raised, I'm sure we shall be able to raise them to the Electoral Commission and they'll answer them, whether it's mandatory, what happens if it doesn't work. Those we can do on Thursday when the Electoral Commission is here. We'll be happy to join and participate in that. On the violation of the laws and the manner of arrest, Leader of Opposition, you're correct. It should be done properly in accordance with the law. And if it is not, if they are arrested, they should be put in lawful custody and presented in court. And if that is not done, it is definitely unlawful. So if the facts as you state them here are what they are, then it's unlawful and there will be sanction on that. But we shall have to look at that. On the issue of the agreement with the US government, Right Honourable Speaker, I just have a challenge. No. I just have a challenge. If the requirement is for us to bring every agreement that government is going to sign for Parliament, then we should write the law and say so. But otherwise, government reports to Parliament in the manner that is set in the law. Every committee interacts with the government agency, and when that time comes, when we are called upon to report on health, we shall report on it. But what I can assure you, Right Honourable Speaker, is that, and honourable colleagues, is yes, government did sign an agreement, and yes, the agreement is in place, and it is within the law, and I am sure when the sectoral committee looks at it, I hope they will have the magnanimity to come here and tell the country that we did a good job. I thank you.
Right, Honourable Speaker.
Let me just allow the Leader of Opposition, and then Honourable Ssenyonyi.
I do acknowledge that there is a lot of business that government can transact on behalf of the citizenry. That's why there has to be a government anyway. But you see, the challenge is where there is a huge annual fiscal responsibility on the country. Budgets are passed here by us. Because when you say that of the $2.3 billion, the US government is going to shoulder a part of it, the rest of it is supposed to be by us. So you have gotten us into that agreement without us crossing every T and dotting every I. Where is this money going to be found? Because what that means is we have to look for the money. We, Uganda, either borrow as we normally do. Even today we are going to be here borrowing. Or to say, the taxman, collect this much and that kind of thing. That's why I think it's prudent that Parliament is not at the tail end, because we are always here planning together, budgeting together, because of that fiscal obligation on us as a country, and it begins here. So I disagree with the learned Attorney General, who is a very well-schooled lawyer, when he says, no, Parliament, you just wait. Let's deal with these things. We shall inform you later. So what happens when there is something we should have taken care of in as far as our scrutiny is concerned? That's the issue.
Now, colleagues, I think what we needed to first, of course, ask ourselves is this one of the agreements provided for to be ratified by Parliament under the Ratification of Treaties Act? So the moment then we go through that, we would know whether they were required to come here or not. But this is a very critical issue, I think, and both of you seem to be right. Both the Leader of Opposition, yes, and the Attorney General, and the Attorney General, because I don't see a point of disagreement for sure. What is important is the principle of scrutiny. Okay, so now we are going to handle the BFP, Budget Framework Paper. So the committee, Sectoral Committee on Health, will be looking at these huge sums of money that would be required, and in the process, let it study this agreement very well. The Minister for Health is here, so she will be able to clarify more when it comes to the committee. But let us give it serious scrutiny to ensure that indeed it's good for this country. Honorable Ssenyonyi, sorry, I said Ssenyonyi, but I had allowed Honorable Ssenyonyi earlier on. Yeah, but you see, clarification is allowed by by a member holding the floor, and he didn't allow. So
I want to thank you.